Welcome to AG's Ace. The big question now is, should the IPL 2021 continue or not? There are quite a bit of feedback coming in, which is some of it is pro, some of it is anti. But let's take a close look at some of the reasons on both sides, and we can come to a conclusion as to what should happen. Of course, the view of the BCCI is overwhelming and paramount. And last but not the least, it will also depend at some point on what the central government thinks. So let's begin by looking at a couple of issues. And the first thing is, a senior Indian Cricket Board official has already made it very clear that the IPL will continue as scheduled. And despite some fierce criticism coming in, because it's being played in the midst of a surge in COVID cases, as we know, and it is being played out in 6 centers. Now, unfortunately, India's death toll has also surged past 2 lakhs on Wednesday, and at least 300,000 people, which is like 3 lakh people a day, have tested positive for the virus over the past week. Against the backdrop of a debate of whether the IPL should go on, the BCCI has been accused of being tone deaf for its stance. Those are strong words coming from a section of the media, also from a section of the people, but that is not what the overwhelming perspective is all about. Now, a senior BCCI official has gone on record saying that the cricket was providing important solace and entertainment to many people during hard times. And the word is hard times, the phrase is hard times, even though fans are not being allowed into stadiums to watch the game. But the tournament, very importantly, is watched by millions of viewers on television every evening and early afternoons whenever there's a doubleheader. The official went on to make an important point. He says we should not underestimate the power of sport to spread positivity. At least fans are absorbed in it at home. Otherwise, many of them will step out without masks. The league generates considerable money for the economy. It has to be seen from that context too. How does stopping IPL help? Now, after 4 cricketers playing in the league, including a trio of Australians, decided to forego their wages and head home, the BCCI also launched something called a charm offensive, trying to allay any fears or insecurity of the players. Acting Chief Executive Hemang Amin sent an email to the league's 8 franchises, assuring them of the players' safety inside the league's biosecure bubble. He wrote, while you are professionals and will play to win, this time you are also playing for something much more important, humanity. The debate over whether the IPL should continue has also played out in the traditional media, with a Chennai-based newspaper suspending its coverage of the league until normalcy is restored. So they took a call on that. There are divergent views in the media too. It's misguided moral outrage to call for an end to the IPL amid the pandemic. The Indian Express newspaper said in an editorial, cricket or cinema or music offers a reprieve. The responsibility of fighting the pandemic is not on players or celebrities, but state and central governments. I think that was a very important point being made in the editorial, where they said where the responsibility actually lies. Of course, the celebrities and the players do make their opinions felt. They are very supportive as and when the case arises, but they're not primarily responsible. Now, matches are scheduled to continue every day at the 6 venues across the nation until the 23rd of May, when there is a break before the playoffs. Chennai Super Kings Chief Executive Kashi Vishwanathan said the 3-time champions were comfortable with the safety arrangements. Our foreign players are satisfied too. We haven't heard any complaints from them. KKR pacer Pat Cummins, in fact, which has already been reported, has donated $50,000 to the PM Care Fund and has also urged other players to follow suit. And that short, sweet message that Pat put out went pretty much viral, and it was greatly appreciated by a lot of people. And for a lot of the Aussies, they said that playing in India was like a second home for them. Former Australia pacer Brett Lee, who is now a commentator, also contributed 50,000 USD, and he also urged others to follow suit. Now, following Pat Cummins' contribution to the PM Care Fund, Kolkata Knight Riders' Sheldon Jackson too has made a donation to the Gautam Gambhir Foundation. Pat Cummins, in fact, made a couple of important comments, and I just want to share that with you. He says, we are doing everything we can to make sure we don't take any resources out of the front line. I don't think so that's the solution. Of course, there's an aspect that playing every night for 3-4 hours hopefully contributes to people staying home, as it has been a hard routine for them, and we can help get them through each day. Now, that's a very important point. Rajasthan's royal celebrated pacer Jaydev Unadkat also joined the debate as he opined on whether the tournament should be continued or not. Unadkat asserted that living in a bio bubble in such times is not easy. He believes that the tournament should continue as the livelihood of a lot of people depends on the league. Crucially, the comment came from Jaydev Unadkat that the IPL is not entertainment. There is no entertainment this year whatsoever. It's work for us, it's our livelihood, and also helps thousands who are part of the ecosystem. But Shoaib Akhtar took a different viewpoint. He says BCCI and PCB should both rethink if this is a good time to continue the IPL or restart the PSL. Things are very tough. And he went on to say that India is burning and it is facing a devastating situation. If they can't continue without strict SOPs, then IPL needs to be stopped. Michael Vaughan, who always makes some intelligent remarks, says, while he supports that the IPL should continue, he says, but I do find it tough to think back how England and Australia pulled out of games in South Africa, yet both countries' players are allowed to play in India. Where my take is concerned, I have a few points to make. I firmly believe that the IPL should and must go on. It does provide relief and entertainment to millions and takes their mind off the current situation. No one denies that India is going through some very difficult times, some very tragic times in the middle of a pandemic. But in these long evenings when people sit at home, it does give them some kind of relief. It takes a person's mind off and no harm done at all, I believe. IPL also contributes towards the economy, the livelihood of regular players, not just the big superstars who earn the mega bucks. The livelihood of regular players depends on its support staff, and that cannot be negated. Adequate preparations have been taken in the bio bubble as the IPL plays out before the empty stadiums. And one can debate the minuses and pluses, but I believe the outcome is positive. And unless and until the government of India directly intervenes and pulls the plug, the IPL should go on under the current circumstances. Thanks for watching AG's Ace.